Hey guys, came for 15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another anime movie review for you guys, and it's about the new Spy X Family movie. Now, I saw the Spy X Family movie Saturday afternoon, and that is the new, you know, movie or anime movie that's out now. I sadly missed Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, but it is what it is. But I managed to actually go see Spy X Family Code White, which, hey, like, listen, I am happy that I will freaking take it, and I saw it, and it was just great. And it continues to just make me happy. I love Spy X Family. Spy X Family is such a great series. I know I did like the first few episodes of season 2, and then I just stopped, you know, reviewing season 2 stuff. But yeah, listen, I'll take it. I will freaking take it. Anyways, Spy X Family stuff. Um, let's talk about it. This is gonna be spoilers, so I'm not gonna hold back whatever. So if you haven't seen the movie, click off the video, yada yada yada. So Spy X Family, basically, it was interesting because I knew when I would see the promotional material, I was like, okay, how are they gonna go on this weird thing, or how are they gonna end up in this situation they end up in? And basically, the thing is, obviously, we know Anya is trying to do her best to get these Stellas to help Operation Strix, which she knows, but Lloyd doesn't know. And basically, what happens is they have to do this like cooking class or whatever, and the judges is gonna be like the vice principal or whatever. So basically, she goes back home, tells Lloyd and Yor like, hey, um, this is going to be this is going to be a cooking contest, and if we do good and we put on a great, type of food stuff right then and there, we could have a chance to earn a Stella. So obviously this gets Lloyd thinking, and one funny thing is, I think if I remember, Yor wanted to help out with the cooking, but they're like, no, you can't, no, because Yor can't cook. But the thing is, Lloyd comes up, or he's like, well, actually, I did my research, and the vice principal likes this one dish. So it ends up in them going to this other like area, or this other country or whatever, to go try this food, this delicacy that obviously the teacher likes, or the principal loves a lot, and they want to get it so they understand how to make it and get a good recipe and everything to do it, and stuff like that. So they end up traveling to this said region. And on this train, you kind of get like some family bonding in a way. Now in the meantime, even before they go on this trip, other meaningless things happen. There was one instance where Yor actually oversees Lloyd, and she has this whole idealistic thinking throughout the movie, that Lloyd is potentially cheating on her. Now, the reason why she gets these thoughts is because her co-workers end up like telling her like, oh, here are the signs of if your man is cheating on you. Like if he's, I think, like I forgot, like if he's giving you gifts and he's going out on these different vacations. I forgot what the last reason was. There was like 3 specific reasons what they were saying, but you have it to where throughout the movie, Lloyd kind of does all these things that Yor was told, and eventually it leads to a nice, adorable, cute moment, which ends up funny in this Ferris wheel, which I'll talk about in a bit. But you kind of have that stuff. Like, I think it was funny how he gave her like lipstick, and she's like, oh, this is a freaking present, and she Yor, obviously, she takes things a little bit too much to heart, and she's not really like aware, but I think it's cute. I think it's adorable that deep down she's invested in this family, and she's invested in the fact that even though she knows like, okay, this is a fake thing, deep down it's like it feels real to her. So of course, in a weird way, she feels somewhat jealous if Lloyd is, potentially hooking up with another girl. And I think they've thrown this storyline out in the anime when it came for Fiona showing up. And funny enough, your oversees Lloyd from a distance, looked like he's actually kissing Fiona. But Lloyd's just facing her, telling her like, and was also grabbing her hat and everything. Fiona was absolutely crazy in this movie because she's still on this whole BS. Like, I think you should dump this girl. I think you should dump your fake wife for me. I could be a really perfect wife and everything. She's just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. We do see Yor's brother, and Yor's brother tries to get on the vacation with them, but he can't because he's got to do his work. Yeah, do his job and everything. So that is hilarious, regardless of the fact. Um, that's funny. So they go on the trip, that's when Anya gets herself into trouble. She ends up finding the microfilm, and it's in the form of a piece of chocolate, and she ends up eating it, and it becomes kind of a whole chase thing right then and there. They get to the country and everything, and then they go to the restaurant that is serving the delicacy that they need to get information on. And you have it to where the main bad guy of the film shows up, like this army general who wants to start even more war that's going on between the two, like the east and the west regions and everything in the SpyxFamily universe. And basically he challenges Lloyd, or one, he takes the dish away because it's like, oh, I can and I will, and you're gonna make me do it because I'm the chief in command. And eventually, Lloyd challenges him, but like he does this whole challenge to where it's like, oh, hey, if you can get all the ingredients that are in this cake right, then you can have this cake right off my back. But like the man was pretty smart. He didn't like break it down like, oh, you gotta add like the grams. Like he made the mention of like putting the grams, for the type of like food, or what, like the ingredients that are in the food and how much grams are needed. Now maybe the way Lloyd put it, he was not. There's like I think it was like one of the first times we actually see Lloyd get played and actually see Lloyd get shocked, other than I guess the time where legitimately when she was massively drunk and they were fighting in that one Anya birthday little thing where he almost legitimately died. When you were falling asleep. But the thing is, he actually got quite shocked, and it was actually kind of like, I wouldn't say relieving, but it's actually quite shocked, or it was actually quite shocking to see Lloyd kind of get one upped right then and there. And it kind of leads them to trying to get the ingredients, and eventually the store owner does give them like the recipe to make it, and they got to go out and go get these other items and everything. In the meantime, what's its face, that's when you get the whole Yor and Lloyd stuff, where Yor is kind of like conflicted with everything that Lloyd's doing, and if Lloyd is cheating on him and everything. Like she even gets freaking drunk just to try to ask him the question, like, listen, are you freaking trying to cheat on me? But she couldn't bring herself to do it, which it ends up going to the freaking Ferris wheel scene, which again, I love it to where it's because Anya can read their minds. She's like, all right, you mommy, daddy, you need to go start flirting with each other, which is so funny because Lloyd and freaking Anya, or Lloyd and Yor, after they ended up coming out, they were like, we were not flirting, which it's so funny. Still to this day, I 100% believe by the end of this series, they'll find out what they're doing, and then eventually at some point, they're just going to be fun with it, and they're not going to want to break this family up because they will have gotten so used to each other, they will legitimately start being a real family. Now, the only thing is, will their specific jobs and agencies like try to come after them if they're gonna break the rules? Now, honestly, I feel like with Lloyd's agency, like I feel like they'd be fine, especially his handler, his boss would be like, you know what, you shouldn't probably be a spy, you need to take care of your family, you need to take care of this little girl. Anya and have her grow up. Yours, on the other hand, I could see it to where maybe like they hire an assassin and it's like you can't quit this lifestyle and everything, and eventually maybe Lloyd has to like try to go save her or something like that. I don't know. Oh, which I also actually forgot. So there was this other storyline with Lloyd to where eventually they were gonna give him a different mission, and they were gonna say, "You look, Operation Strix is not gonna be your main priority anymore." The handler's like, "Yeah, sorry, but the higher ups are basically chalking it up to like there's not really being made any like substantial progress, so you're gonna be delegated to doing this other mission while this person comes in and does Operation Strix." And Lloyd's like, "But this guy won't be good enough for the job to do it." And the handler's just like, "Listen, I did my best to try to convince, but what the higher ups say, what the higher ups do." So basically, too, in a weird way, for Lloyd, this could potentially be like the last mission he does with his fake family and everything before he has to turn it over to a coworker spy of his. So that's kind of the thing right then and there, which would, you can actually kind of see like how he gets pretty defensive about it because it's like, well, I don't want to lose all of this at this point in time. Like, it's clear that he's obviously grown an attachment to Yor and Anya, especially Anya. It's clear, like, okay, yes, he's hard on Anya and he wants Anya to do all this because he's trying to do it for his mission. But you can genuinely tell, like, okay, Lloyd genuinely does care for Anya. He does treat her and love her like as if it's his own biological daughter. Which, going on from that point, they're struggling to try to get they're struggling to try to get the ingredients, and Lloyd is looking eventually like looking for they need this red blood wine or whatever, and Lloyd is going through all these areas to try to find it, and he can't find it and everything, and he's having trouble. Eventually he goes back in the hotel and he's like, "Listen, I gotta go back and find it, go out there and find it. I'm just gonna go to like a town or city over and everything." But eventually, but Anya kind of gets a little bit, I wouldn't say pissed off, but upset, because she really wants to go with Lloyd and help find, but Lloyd's like, "No, let me handle it, you just stay here." And you kind of have this, there was another storyline where it's like, oh, maybe we as family should all go together to do these things and stuff like that, which is obviously a nice life lesson. You always should want to spend time with your family and do everything with your family, because at the end of the day, you don't know when you'll ever see your family members again or ever get these moments again. Especially, obviously, I don't mean to get dark, but whenever obviously your family passes on to the next life, because listen, at the end of the day, you ain't gonna have these moments with your mom and your dads, or sometimes maybe your brothers or your sisters, sadly, if they tragically have maybe a potential pass away or something just crazy happens. You always want to get the best of hanging out with your family, because those are the moments that you'll treasure for the rest of your life. And I think, and that was kind of what Yor was trying to tell Lloyd. And eventually, Lloyd makes some decisions. Like, all right, let's go, let's do this thing and everything. And then that also cuts into the microfilm stuff with everything, because Fiona ends up showing up. Which, we end up finding out that these two men that were going after Anya on the train car, after they found out, like, oh, you must have the microfilm. We find out that, like, oh, the head honcho, that is that commander, that army boss, and he's trying to use the microfilm to basically start all-out war, essentially. Eventually they end up capturing Anya, because Anya ends up escaping, going out, because she sees a vision from Bond, like, oh, I know where the last ingredient is to make the dish that Dad wants to make, or Lloyd wants to make, right? She ends up getting captured, and that whole scene after she gets captured, and then the whole like stuff that they were gonna do, like they were literally like trying to make her poop it out, and then it's funny because Anya's doing her best trying not to use the restroom and just doing everything, because like she got afraid, like, what, one, she got afraid that, or the fact that she knows, like, one, this dude needs this thing, and two, the guy's like, we can just kill her and be done with it after she like craps it out, essentially. So she's holding it in. She has some of the most funny dialogue you could see. But eventually the guy gets sick and tired. He's like, look, just slit her freaking stomach open. I don't care. Which is absolutely crazy that this dude who's an army captain, I understand, he wants to get what he wants, but like the man was willing to damn near slit a child's stomach just to get this freaking microfilm, which leads into freaking Yor and Lloyd going after her. Yor sneaks in on the plane. Lloyd obviously directly goes. And that whole scene, that was great. The fight between the commander boss and Lloyd was dope. Honestly, I thought the best fight was Yor versus like the android looking dude. Like this dude had like built-in robotic stuff. And like he had like a whole chest plate of freaking ammo in his chest plate area. And this man was like half human, half robot. And the fact that and the way Yor was able to take this guy down was so inventive and so crazy. So like earlier in the movie, Lloyd, the gift that Lloyd gives her is like this lipstick. I forgot what the fabric was, but it was very oil. The lipstick was made of oil, which is very flammable, right? And he gave that to her as a present. So she's like, look, she warns the dude because the dude in a weird the android was basically kind of kicking her ass around. Like she was doing her best to try to get by, but realistically she was losing the match and she had to come up with something. And that, again, the visuals were great in that fight. Honestly, probably I know that season 2 fight with Yor was intense and crazy. This fight tops it. Obviously, it's a movie budget fight, but this Yor fight is the best in the franchise, in the series. And mind you, this is like a non-canon movie to the freaking anime. Like it's its own side-alone story, which that was great and everything. And I'll talk about that in a bit when it comes to more potential movies. But you have it to where Yor warns the guy, like, listen, I don't want to do this to you, but you leave me with no choice. And she basically makes this ring of fire, essentially, and then she puts down and she drops the freaking lipstick and burns the guy alive. I'm like, for a show that is pretty kid friendly, that was a pretty damn dark moment. I want to say gory death. They don't show like the dude's body burning up and everything, but you get the point. You get what I mean. Like, it's a pretty gruesome death Yor gave him. And stuff like that. So they end up, you have it to where the freaking army guy against Lloyd, he tries to get the upper hand with this gas stuff, and thanks to Anya basically breaking from her chains, helps Lloyd not get affected by the gas. And Lloyd, in a smart way, pretends to be and does the disguise stuff. Does the disguise stuff and fakes it out and fools everybody, which was great and funny and stuff like that. And the guy was actually pretty smart too. Like originally when he first came into the room, he could tell like, oh, Lloyd, that Lloyd was just a faker and he was just with a disguise and everything. Now it is interesting how the guy didn't like eventually like come down and realize like, you're a spy, aren't you? Aren't you? You ain't got all these skills if you're not a spy. I feel like they could have like had it to where like clearly the dude was smart, the bad guy was smart. I feel like they could have made him smarter and just been like, you're a spy, aren't you? Because it would make sense for him to say that, because it's like, how are you able to like pretend to be somebody so effectively? Oh wait, you're a spy. But they end up saving Anya. It looks like you're gonna get this moment to where they're gonna crash into the city, and you get this beautiful moment with the Forager family where they all turn the wheel at the same time. Even Anya helps out, but you get this great moment. They basically don't have the airship that was basically crashing down, crash into the city building and everything, which would preserve anything, and plus it helps them not get caught. And basically they get the ingredients, they know how to make the food, they test Anya how to make the food, and like, you have it like, okay, Anya might actually get a Stella here. And then she comes back, And she looks all upset. I'm like, oh, don't tell me they did the thing where she probably like forgot how to make everything after what she learned, and the dude thought like it was terrible. No, we find out like the ovens broke down and everything, so the cooking contest has to be held a week later. So then there's this new guy, and then the movie ends off with them like, well, Lloyd saying like, oh well, all this new guy actually likes this. You know, we can actually take another vacation and actually go to this area to go see this. And two, we also find out he is going to be staying on for Operation Strix, because I guess the guy ended up getting caught like doing something illegal in the spy world or something, and he ended up getting arrested by it. So, yeah, but overall, it was a very good movie. You know, I enjoyed my time with it. It's SpyxFamily good content, and it was really damn good. It was that damn good of a movie, and it was so good that honestly, I'm down for another SpyxFamily movie. I don't know if they would ever make a movie canon. This movie was like literally non-canon to the story or to the main story or what's going on in the anime slash manga or whatever. It was just its own standalone story. And if we're gonna get more SpyxFamily movies and they're gonna be standalone movies like this and they're this good, you know, listen, I'm all for making more SpyxFamily movies. And listen, you know, the more we can get of Anya, Lloyd, and you will definitely 100% take. Definitely 100% take it. And it's just great to see. It's a fun series and show to watch, and I definitely get a buzz out of watching SpyxFamily. But anyways, I basically talked everything I said about the movie. Again, I liked the movie. The animation was great. The visuals were great. The story was great. The family, obviously, is great. But that's all I got to say. Nothing else to say. So put in the comment section if you like this movie, as well as hit the subscribe button if you want to get more SpyxFamily content whenever the next season drops. I hope to be more consistent with season 3 whenever that drops or whatever. But yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. Till then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day, night, or whenever you're checking this video. Till then, guys, peace.